mayor of my city just passed a law that male best friends have to have lunch together at least once a week. It's not a law, it's a mandate.
All right, welcome to episode 25 of Bro Bumps and Beers. Bro Bumps and Beers.
Bros.
No, just one bro, apparently. We'll get to that later. I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Did you guys ever think we'd get to 25 episodes?
I feel like we say that every episode.
Did you ever think we'd get to 26 episodes next week? Not me.
No, 26 was when I said it was over. That's enough.
I mean, I will say 25. I thought Matt would have quit by now.
I mean, I thought we would have fired him by now, too.
You don't pay me. How can you fire me? Are you going to do the intro or?
Oh, right. I am the EST of Triple B, Pat Gagne. And with me, as always, is Matt Goodies Gagne. And, of course, sipping. Oh, he looks like he's enjoying that one. The producer, Jordan, the Jackhammer. Schofield.
I almost said the Guava God again.
Gentlemen.
I mean, whatever you want me to be.
Week 2 back on Zoom. Jordan looks happy. We got him a microphone. We got him a mixer.
I got my gear back, and I'm no longer a asshole.
He's not a prissy pants little bitch. And hopefully this week goes a little bit better, and he doesn't sound like shit.
I'm not even gonna fight that because I felt there was a lot of rage last week.
People asked me if you were recording in a sewer tube.
Yeah, I got sewer tube. I got with the bathroom door closed. There was a lot of different.
There was what? Oh, was he talking into a can like one of those old school?
James said. I think that was James.
He hooked up a can to a string and attached it to the computer.
Yeah,
I was not impressed.
Guys, episode 25, Bro Bumps and Beards.
Big if true.
Why do you keep saying bro?
I'm just some guy. Jordan's just another guy. We're here with the most important person on the show, Matt Two T's Gagne.
You're an idiot.
You know, it's fine,
Pat,
Matt.
Hey, Pat. I hate you.
Hey, Jordan, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, not a big deal.
It's fine. That's hey, whatever.
What are you even what's wrong right now?
Matt,
what are you even talking
about? We're going to talk about NFL betting right now. Is that okay with you? Your show. Just let us know.
Now I know what it is. I didn't know what you were talking about before.
See how I'm consulting with you before I do something that involves the show? We'll get to it. Do you
want to talk about this now?
No, we'll get to it later.
No, you know what? Let's start. We can do it now.
No, we'll do it later. I need to compose myself. Because, hey, Jordan, what has 3 letters and sucks ass?
NFL.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you guys did not have a good week, eh?
Where'd you go this weekend, Jordan?
1-6. And for the first time in a while, I was also sub 500 on the NCAA, which is really disappointing. 5 and 8 in the NCAA for me is a really bad week. So
you know what? I came in to this weekend in the NFL, and you know what? I'm trying to make it a thing. Came with some Nala vibes. I was feeling it. All my bets, I was like, every one of these sons of bitches is gonna hit. There's no way these don't hit.
I was so confident.
One hit. The under in the Browns game.
You're welcome, by the way, because that was the only one I ain't hit either.
Jesus. It was, you know what, Jordan? I'm going to say it. The Packers are the most sus team in the NFL.
What does sus mean?
Yeah, we need you to define suspect.
So first of all, I learned that sus means suspect because all the kids are playing some weird game online now.
Among Us. It's awesome.
And you're being sus. I think that's hilarious. I love that word.
I actually respect the take of the Packers being suspect because I like to say the Washington football team is the really shitty team that can figure it out for a day and beat a team, but it's rare. The Packers are the good version of that, where it's like you might get first half Colts Packers where they come out and score 28 points and just light the world on fire. Or you could get second half against the Colts Packers, which is the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed and the offense. I mean, you know what? I'm not going to blame the offense because like 2 young wide receivers, that was MVS's first fumble in his career. Like, unfortunate, sucks to suck. Our punter has the Green Bay punter has like the mental fortitude of a wet noodle. I don't understand how, like, he's the most up and down guy on the planet, and yeah, like Green Bay killed me. I inexplicably took the Chiefs under purely because 57 is a lot of points. That's it. 57 is a lot of points for an NFL game, and so I just took the under. I was wrong.
You talked about Washington, the Washington football team, and how they're that team.
No, you can avow them there.
Oh, right. They're on the level.
Team.
Yeah.
And just how like they're that bad team that can. Are those teams some of the most fun teams to watch in sport?
I like to call them frisky. I like the Browns. The Browns traditionally were a frisky football team. You would just look for them on a good weekend, and they'd be +6, and you're like, this feels like a Browns fuck around weekend.
And you know, Matt, I don't want to toot your horn, or Jordan's for that matter. Every time I watch the Toronto Blue Jays on TV, I feel like they're frisky too. I feel like they can win.
Especially right now.
There's a lot of close games this year.
They win a lot of games they shouldn't win, but then they get blown out, and you're like, yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably what should happen.
They go to the Trop, and they just can't win a game. And
to be honest, that's very Toronto sports in general these past 2 years.
I don't know. I would put the Winnipeg Jets in the frisky category.
The Leafs were big on the random blowouts, and you guys would hear about it. It'd be like, oh look, we're it'd be like, oh,
I would mute you. I muted you a couple times during the season. You're fucking annoying.
yeah, I got mad. No, honestly, like Packers Twitter was losing their mind today. I hate football fan groups. Like I'm an Ohio State fan, and they had a rough game against Indiana. Everyone talks about the sky falling. Packers, they're 7-3. Everyone talks about the sky falling.
Are they the worst 7-3 team in the league?
No.
Matt, I would say the worst 7-3 team of all time. They're that sus.
Worse than the Bills?
Okay, whoa, let's calm down. They got beat on one hill. I'm not doing this right now.
The Bills are 7-3.
They're great.
Let's talk about it.
No, I don't want to. You know what I want to talk about? 2 things. I went 1-5. Fuck this. 2, college basketball starts this week. Bring on the pain. Can't wait. Bill Belichick's a fraud.
Pat, I'm looking forward to passing this off to you because I strictly stop betting once football's over and give myself a break. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about college basketball because I'm actually off the NFL because I realized if I want to I'll explain it to you like this. On the year, and I'm confident I'll bounce back. On the year, I'm -7 units, okay, from my base starting point. If you took out all my NFL bets, I'd be +10 units on the NCAA. That's how bad.
Are you going to keep betting on NCAA?
Yeah, because every year
I think he wins
the NCAA and lose my money on the NFL. It's like every year I've bet football, it's like, oh, hey, like the NFL, you're going to lose all your money. The NCAA will keep you around betting the NFL longer. So I'm just going to cut myself off.
Yeah, so just hopefully this week I can get
Week
a couple
10,
bets in.
Rest in peace. Jordan's 2020 NFL season.
I can get a couple bets in on NCAA basketball. I missed NCAA basketball. Can't fucking wait.
Pat, I want you, and I need you to do this. Whenever the March Madness happens, I need you to bet every first round matchup.
Holy shit. Okay.
I need you to take either, I don't know what you want to do, $1, $5, a game, whatever you feel like you can.
It will be $1.
$1 a game. And just bet every single one.
64 games.
32 games.
Holy
I did
crap.
that one year. I bet $5 on all 32 games. Yeah, it didn't go great.
Wow.
That was when the first.
You don't know shit about NCAA basketball.
I know, but I had a lot of money in my pocket that didn't need to go anywhere, and that was a huge mistake.
Yeah, it could have stayed in your pocket and gone to beer.
It could have, but that also wasn't beer, Jordan. That wasn't that phase,
So, okay, next, Jordan had told us. Well, first of all, Matt, Jordan wants to tell a story. Is that okay?
You are so lucky we're on Zoom right now, is all I gotta say.
Matt, look, I'm just trying to consult with the bro of Bros, Bumps, and Beers. You make all the decisions, apparently, so I was just wondering.
I'm gonna Claymore kick you next time I see you.
Oh, I would fucking pay good.
That'd be cool. Can we get that on video? That's some content.
Yeah, I would pay big money to see that.
Jordan, are you okay with that being content?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Matt, are you okay? Are you okay, Matt? Jordan, tell your story.
Okay, so earlier this week, or last week, I should say, many of you all know, you heard it. I had a little microphone trouble. and it led to some stress and rage in my life. And as you all know, very, very hard to get me upset. Very hard. So
you're the coolest cucumber on the planet.
Yeah, very
cool as a cuke.
Yeah, very level-headed if the level was upside down. Wait, wouldn't that mean it was still level?
It would still be level.
Holy fuck, crazy world. So earlier this week, I decided that enough was enough, and I was going to make the trek to the studio, aka Pat's house, and pick up my equipment, pick up my mixer, pick up one of my microphones.
Whoa. Our equipment.
Oh, right. I guess it's you are right. It is our equipment, but to use it. So
it's okay, Jordan. It's yours.
Yeah, I'm on my way out there, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call ahead. Call Pat a couple times, no answer. I guess he was in a meeting. I come to find out, so no big deal. So I hit the old button on the Jaguar on the fancy McBeal, and I go call Rayanne. Car goes calling Rayanne. I'm like, perfect. I'm driving along. I'm close to the house. Pick up. Hello, I say, all goofy and shit. And she goes, hi. I'm like, hi. How are you? And she's like, I'm good. How are you? I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what are you up to? You off work? She's like, yeah, just finishing up. I'm like, great. I called Pat, but he didn't answer. Can I swing by the house and pick up the stuff? And she goes, who's Pat? Now, this is the moment where I'm like, oh, something's occurred. And I wasn't sure what it was. Now, lo and behold, thanks for taking the fucking picture right in the camera.
My God, man.
Unbelievable. So, lo and behold, I quickly look down at my display and I see RHE space ANNE. Now, Pat, how do you spell Rayanne, your fiance's name?
RAE-ANN.
So, what we've done here, gentlemen, is called a random Rayanne in my phone and had no clue who it was. Now, my favorite part about this was she laughed it off, and I turned in, knew I had a great story for the podcast. Great is debatable, but it was a funny moment. The best part is I came to realize that was like, I think some girl I matched with on Tinder, like, I don't know.
I was just going to say.
I got her number.
That's got to be a random one.
And called her out of the cloud. So what I'm wondering is this. What was my name in her phone when she picked it up?
Because she picked it up and was like, clearly she's like, I kind of know who this is.
Yeah, because she like, if she would have known it was a wrong number right away. But like, we had a 30-second, 45-second conversation where we didn't get to the point of her being like, I think you're looking for someone else. So I want to know, if you were to put my name in your phone and you were a random Tinder conversation with Jordan 8 years ago, what would be, or I don't even know if it was 8.
So I have a few questions before anything is decided.
Yes, I will answer any and all questions at this time.
Number one, was this just chatting on Tinder, or was there a date?
There was not a date. There was not a date. Okay. It was just chatting.
So there was no in-person meeting.
No, it went as far as a phone call, and then nothing, or not a phone call,
exchanging
a phone
of
number. No, there was nothing of that nature. No.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying that because my fiance's in the other room. That is a true fact.
Did you cut off communication, or did she cut off communication?
In my memory, it petered out, but my ego may have blocked the memory of her stopping talking to me. It's I can't say definitively that it was mutual. It could just be like, I think this guy's obsessive compulsive and insane, and I need to let it go.
Look, Jordan, here's the deal. Okay. You want this great answer of what she put you in her phone as? I was on Tinder for a brief moment of time back in the day.
Yes.
You were Tinder Jordan. That's what
I was. Tinder Jordan. That's big.
100% Tinder. And that came up on her phone, and she was like, oh, who's coming around for a second round go?
But I think, like, if that comes up on your phone, are you just not like laughing instantly before you?
Oh, I'm picking up for sure. 100%.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh, what is this going to be?
Now, this is the guy who was never on Tinder, the guy who's been with the same girl for more than half his life.
Since dinosaurs walked the earth, Matt has been with his
Here is my observation. If this is me, Why would I still have that number in my phone? Do you guys not go through your phone and delete numbers?
No, and I tell myself once a month I'm going to do it, and I never do it because it's gotten out of control.
I probably have 10 numbers in my phone of girls I started talking to on Tinder or met at a bar that I just never got rid of.
See, this gives me anxiety now, and I feel like I need to take your phones and clean out your contacts, and it's bothering me.
I scroll through it; it drives me crazy.
There was girls' names that they'll end with name and the pal. I met her at the pal. There's one that says the Spike. That was whoa. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of there's like
her first name's her second name's Spike.
That'd be cool.
She'd be fun.
That's a story.
You'd like the party.
That sounds like Rhea Ripley.
I would like to say I am confident that right now there's 30% of numbers. If we were going to section up my contacts, 20% is people who I actively talk to. 30% is people who I do not know, like I couldn't tell you who they are. And 50% is people I could delete and they would never have a reason for us to contact each other ever.
You think 30% of your phone you don't know?
Oh, mine's higher, 100% higher.
Holy
like,
smooth.
Not that I don't know, but it's people who like, I don't remember.
I
met once, because I haven't done this since university. So like, we're talking university. This is what? 8 years later. No, I went to university in 2009, and I've had this. Okay, so it's 11 years. 11 years I've had the same phone number.
Wow.
So think about that.
In our phone.
Yeah, I have to get a bigger phone just to fucking hold the contacts. That's not true, but it's just
You're a big important guy, eh?
Yeah, I'm a super big deal. So I have two phones,
Okay, not an easy transition, but I guess we'll do it now. Big news for the Triple B Nation, as I'm going to call them. First, unbeknownst to two of their members, there was a piece of content put out on our Instagram account, which is ran by Matt T's Gagne.
You give one guy the keys to the Ferrari, and he just fucking joyrides the whip.
So Matt put out.
Full disclosure before I let you continue, I ran this by you.
Okay, but I was expecting all of us to be involved in some way with the choosing, but it's okay. So Matt came out with, which was a good idea. The Manitoba 6-pack is a great idea. So what the whole premise was, you can go to an LC, which is, we'll get to that in a second.
Not
and
according to Twitter.
You pick 6 craft beers that are strictly Manitoban, and that would be your introduction to craft beer in Manitoba. Correct, Matt?
Yeah. Wow.
So
Pat, are you going to make time for the comments on, like, because there are some people who said some things that need to be discussed. Yeah.
So Matt made a video. The video, he did run by me. I will admit, he did run by me. But then I was expecting him, oh, hey, you guys make one with your 6 beers and we'll put them all on there.
That's for the next content.
When you don't have discussions with the other two members of the podcast, how am I supposed to know that?
The creative genius, you need to let it work.
Whoa. Okay, so Matt decided to change the name of the podcast to Bro, Two Other Guys, Bumps and Beers, and put out his list. And let me tell you, you got some love on Instagram, you got some love on Twitter, but you also got some criticism.
Yeah, because people didn't listen to the whole video. But I don't know the criteria.
You know what my big problem was with the whole thing? I'm putting it on Twitter and I'm forced to defend it when I had nothing to do with it.
Thank you for your service.
But I would defend your dumb ideas as well.
It wasn't a dumb idea.
I never said it was a dumb idea.
It was like, Matt, I gave a list of the top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time and then told Pat that he had to argue and defend about that list.
I would do it for you, Jordan.
Matt, if I remember correctly.
And my first pick is Boink the Clown.
Doink.
Doink, damn it. Fuck.
I remember 30 weeks ago. Let's say about 30 weeks ago. Hey, Matt, we should start a wrestling and beer podcast. That'd be cool. A couple weeks later, Jordan, you want to join the podcast? Hey, yeah, those all sound like decisions we make as a team. But no, 6 beers, no discussion. Hey, Pat, throw this on Twitter, which I did because I'm a team player. And now I get, hey, why did you pick this beer? What the hell is this?
Twitter.
Man of the people, Pat Gagne.
Well, then we don't look like a cohesive unit if I don't put it on Twitter.
So how are we going to rectify this?
Okay, hold on. Can I, first of all, explain the raison d'etre? if you will.
As long as you keep your cadence together, because I'm tired of tightening everything up. So just like
talk
speak
faster.
fluidly.
Okay, I can talk faster. Do you want me to talk at 1.5?
Yes,
Just
talk at 1.5.
So, first of all, I went to the LC. These beers have to be available at the LC. So, the dummy on Twitter who said you should have put Star Beast on it.
Wild take.
Yeah, that was egregious.
Wild
Absolutely egregious.
Two main things wrong with that. Number one, can't get an LC, dipshit. And number two, not everybody is going to like Star Beast. I'm going to say there's a very small percentage of people that will actually enjoy Star Beast and would come back for more.
For that guy to say this is an introduction to craft beer and put the biggest bazooka in the house.
Welcome to the city. Here's dinner in a can. Like, what are we doing?
So you have to get it at the LC. I only did 6. I couldn't include every brewery. OGC, I am a huge OGC fan.
Yeah.
Huge OGC.
Yeah.
Mad Scientist, one of my favorite IPAs in the city. But I believe that Kilter's Juicy is the more approachable IPA for non-craft beer and non-IPA drinkers. Yeah. That's why that was there.
And you better believe Cuke would probably be on all of our lists, but you can't get it in the LC.
Yeah. If I could get a Cuke at the LC, it would have been on there. That would have been the sour I would have put on there. Sorry, Cosmos, but it would have been
I'm glad that you made that clear because I thought we should have probably incorporated One Great City because they did sponsor us for one episode when we were on hiatus, and it was seltzers. What the hell do we call it?
Slams and seltzers.
So I thought maybe, but hey, the reasoning's there. Approachable, more approachable, juicy. I would have liked to know that.
I didn't. It was in the video. I didn't put a stout. I said it in the video. Not everybody likes stouts. You say stout, a lot of people are like, no, not for me. Mm-hmm. I say red ale. I feel like people are more, they have the ability to approach it a lot more. So I put the red ale instead of a stout. Well, dark beer drinkers, let them come out of the woodwork and be like, no dark beer? No, you dipshit. I put it on there for a reason.
Matt, this is when I wanted to defend you even more, was when some guy, I don't remember who it was, he was like, I could have picked 6 other random craft beers and picked better beers than 1919. I'm like, first of all, 1919, pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if he's heard. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What do you mean 6 random craft beers?
That is 1919 is one of the 2 beers that the general Winnipeg population, man or woman, regardless of age group, has seen. And I would argue Farmery's up there, but not because it's good, but it's because it's like been around for a while. But 1919 is like it's the Winnipeg Budweiser craft beer, and I don't mean that in a slanderous way.
No,
everybody, they've done a great job getting it out to the community, and everyone knows what it is, and it deserves high praise for that.
There was also somebody on Twitter. That knocked the non-such pick. I feel like if you are going to drink craft beer in Winnipeg and not drink non-such, you have not tried crath beer in Winnipeg.
I think I agree with that. For quality,
quality, and it's so much. There's the only other brewery doing Belgian is Little Brown Jug.
Yeah, and not to mention their taproom experience is top shelf.
Yeah.
So Matt, I would like to give the time to me and Jordan to make our own personal lists.
Can we have Matt go first to recap his list, or do we want to?
I will let him, but in a set. But before he does that, Matt, I would like you to apologize to me and Jordan.
For what?
You know what, Pat? I'm sorry that we had to take time in this segment to get Matt to apologize.
And you know what, Jordan? I'm sorry that we expected an apology and aren't getting one.
Sure. You know what, Pat? I forgive you for that.
I'm sorry that I produced top-notch content that got us a lot of attention on social media.
Can you imagine a year ago telling Matt that a year in the future he would be saying, I'm sorry that I'm producing top-notch content on an Instagram account? This is fucking the Groundhog Day.
I would have looked at you and said, I feel like I need to run my head through a wall.
Yeah, or said, what is content?
And instead,
what do you mean by that?
I sat in my basement for an hour and a half
and filmed that over and over
again because I kept screwing up. The bloopers, if I had put a blooper reel together, it would have gone viral.
I would have loved to just have a camera filming
Fly
you
on the
filming
wall, man.
yourself. Yeah. Oh my god. So anyways, Matt,
Matt, give us your list rapidly.
recap your
I don't
list.
want to run out of time on this.
No.
So give me your list
So
rapidly.
I had Kilter Juicy.
Yeah.
I had Seventh Stab Red Ale from Barnhammer. I had 1919 from Little Brown Jug. The Belgian Peach from Nonsuch. The Star Stuff from Devil May Care. And I finished out with Cosmos from Sucrums.
Okay, so I'll go next there, Jordan.
Okay.
I did not change too much from yours, Matt. I agreed with you. The Juicy is no, you know what? Juicy is up there. It's a very approachable IPA for a guy who doesn't like IPAs. I'm in on that. I took out seven.
Just give us the list.
Stab.
This is going to be too complicated. Just say the 6.
I picked Lousy Beatnik from Barnhammer as an amber.
Fair.
I kept the 1919. I put in Torque Blonde.
Too generic.
Well, that's kind of what I was going for. I kept Star Stuff and I kept Cosmos. So only 2 real changes to your list, Matt. Honestly.
So you're mad at me over 2 changes.
I'm mad that I was not consulted.
So that's not a great list. Neither of those lists were very good.
Can't wait for Jordan to pick fucking something from Rebellion that's not even from Manitoba.
No. So I picked 19. I think we have some automatic agreeances. 1919.
Yep.
Juicy.
Yep.
And Cosmos are, in my opinion, like 1, 2, 3. I feel like the 66 is way too good of a beer as a New England IPA to be left off.
Can I just cut you off? The reason I didn't put it on is because I already had Juicy.
I see what you're saying, but for me, it's
66 is probably one of my favorite beers.
Yeah.
So Jordan, so Jordan, just to be clear, you want 2 IPAs on your list. That's cool. Keep going.
Well, no, one's from New England.
That's fine. It's fine.
Then the beer that has to be on this list, because it is the second most identifiable beer between all walks of people, is Blueberry.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It has
Your list is trash.
It has to be.
Jordan,
1919, if you're making a list for anybody who's going to walk through the door, Blueberry is going to be something that almost everybody in the city recognizes, and I have numerous people. I don't know someone who hates it aside.
Is that in an LC? Is that in an LC?
Yeah, it is.
I've seen it. Yep.
Okay.
And my
For
last
sure.
pick,
It's in a bottle.
which is where I will take some heat, but I truly believe this is one of the best beers in the province, is Old Ale X.
Okay.
That thing hits like a truck, and I like it because I think it's the best. It shows the best of what Nonsuch can do in a fancier. I think all you guys did was talk about tall boys. And I think there needs to be something shown for Nonsuch's elite kind of bottling process and the way they do their more advanced bottling, because no one else does that in the city as far as I can tell.
And okay, so I respect your picks, and I don't think they're bad picks. I just don't think your average person, if you're introducing people to craft beer and
Old
you give
Ale
them
X is
Old Ale
probably
X,
a little much. Yeah, a little much.
that's like handing a craft beer drinker like myself
So
a friggin' hoppy pollinator.
that's
and
true.
say,
Maybe
this is your introduction to meads.
I should swap that to Belgian Blonde. I think I like that. I think that's a better pick than the Belgian.
That's what I mean. Like we chirped the guy who said Star Beast, and that guy is a moron for saying that. But for Jordan to say Old Ale X, it's kind of on the same wavelength, I think.
I'm switching it to Belgian Blonde.
Oh, I understand that. But you're just changing on the fly, so you're like,
And I put the peach.
Yeah, but at least I
because it's a little
changed
fruitier.
something, Pat. At least I didn't get mad at Pat and then
Jordan?
pretty much chip shot
Jordan?
the same fucking list.
Jordan, your list is sus, okay?
You know what? You just learned what sus meant, and now you're saying it a lot. It's like when you started.
I've said it
rolling
twice.
out
I've said it
fraud.
twice. You're a fraud. Tell me I'm a fraud.
Unbelievable.
All this talk of beer. What are you guys drinking tonight? You guys got something good?
Well, we have to do a review, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jordan's got something. We'll let him go last this week. We'll let him go last.
He's going last, eh?
Yeah, Matt, you want to lead us off? Oh, he's taking a sip.
I'm taking a sip. Yeah, I'll lead us off. So, yeah, I'm actually drinking something that I had in my fridge. I picked it up at the LC when I was there getting the controversial Manitoba six-pack. And
The controversy.
there's a lot of controversy, apparently, picking on beers that you like. Anyways, I grabbed a Fort Garry. Didn't have super high hopes. I mean, Fort Garry is Fort Garry. I mean,
Is that the dark?
this
Oh,
is
no, sorry.
I have a dark in my fridge. That one I like that one. The
I
red's
quite
really
like
good
the
too.
Fort Garry Dark. Quite like it.
But I picked up the Jingle Bell Bock. They're Bavarian Doppelbock, and
I'm sorry. What is a Bock?
a Doppelbock.
Yeah, what is that?
It's German, I believe.
Yeah,
And
give me a second. So a Doppelbock means double. So it's a bigger, stronger version of the typical Bock beer. Man, why can't we just make this like a simple thing? So basically, originally made by monks in Munich, the Doppelbock beer style is very food friendly and rich in melanot. They just made up a word, reminiscent of toasted bread. Known for its malty sweetness, is dominant, but should not be cloying. They just like sneezed on a keyboard for multiple words here. I don't even know what the fuck cloying means.
The words I understood from that describe this beer quite well, actually.
Was it cloying?
I didn't understand that word, so
Hold
I'm just gonna
on.
ignore it.
So cloying, that is excessively sweet, rich, or sentimental. So if something's like so like sweet or rich, it's making you sick, you go, oh, this is cloying. So
I'm gonna pull that one out next time I eat a really sweet dessert.
Yep.
Continue,
please.
But this has a lot of fruit notes to it. Dark fruit, like a plum or almost like plum. That's what's coming to mind.
There's no other dark fruit I know of.
But you get a lot of raisin, like the taste of raisin.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, and I'm really digging that. You get the malt, because it is malt forward, but it is incredibly smooth. It's not overly sweet. It is sweet, but not overly sweet, and it's ridiculously smooth. Like you take every sip, and you're surprised at how not heavy it is. I'm really enjoying it, like really enjoying it, and I did not expect to. And Jordan, it's 8.5%.
Yes.
Wow.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
If you follow me on Untappd at Gagne Matt, we can hear the sniff. There it is. I'm gonna give this one.
Can you imagine what he should be able to rate something 2 T's?
I should be able to.
Is it no T's, a single T, or 2 T's?
But if you do follow me on Untappd, I'm giving this a 4.
Wow.
This is one of the better dark beers I've had in the last little while.
That's incredible. I mean, I don't even know. I can't even argue with that because I think I've had maybe 1 or 2 Doppelbocks in my life. So I'll have to try that.
Oh,
yeah, Jordan, you'll enjoy
Big
this.
yawn. I'm sure I'll like it just from reading that at 8.5%. Like I'll have to grab that.
Yes, you will.
All right. So I'll go next. I had a release from Stone Angel Brewing Company. We haven't been to them in a while. I got the Onkel Georg. Onkel Georg. And the reason I picked it up is because it is a different version of it. It is with a whiskey sour element. Pat being a big whiskey guy, Pat loves his whiskey sours. Radlers all day into it. So I gave it a try. And let me tell you, this sumbitch did not disappoint.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be very sweet. I thought it was going to be too sweet. I thought you wouldn't be able to tell. Too sweet. I honestly was ready for this to be a mess.
I feel like Matt was mad because he wasn't looking at the screen when we did that.
I saw that what you did.
Can you guess what he was doing, people of the podcast? Yeah, he was on his fucking phone again.
I was answering one of our fans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your mom can wait.
Jordan, probably not a big fan of this. It is only 3.2%.
Oh, so
it's a Radler.
Yeah, the juice.
But it's a Radler.
Juice.
Yeah, it's a Radler.
How much for Tropicana?
It's delicious, actually. It's the perfect combination of a whiskey sour with grapefruit notes, and it is absolutely delicious.
Have you had the original, Onkel Georg?
I have not.
I like it.
As far as because I would consider it a winter Radler.
Okay.
And that's what it is like a ski Radler. That's like kind of it gives you all of that. Like it's something you imagine, oh, this is like a Radler for the winter.
It's actually so good. It's funny how good it is, but it's really good.
And you don't expect it to be good, and it is. I don't know why.
You know what? Here we go. You got to follow me on Untappd at Pat Gagne. This, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give a 4.25 on Untappd.
Wow.
It is
for a Radler.
Delicious. I could drink 3 or 4 of these Usually after one Radler, I'm sick of them, but this is just on another level. I'm in on it. It's awesome.
Well,
So.
there's another one I have to pick up.
Yeah. So Jordan, take us home.
Oh,
Another
boy.
guava beer.
Yes. So Barnhammer put out a test batch, and as you know, Barnhammer and I, we have a bit of it's a small batch, not test batch, small batch.
It's small.
Barnhammer and I have a bit of a history with guava-related beers. So they put out something called Guavatron 2000.
I love that name.
And oh yeah, like as far as names
Transformers
go,
is awesome.
how great is that? So Guavatron 2000, and this was a Philly sour. Now, to my understanding, the Philly sour is a little different because I actually don't think there's any fermentation in that process at all.
Really?
So I'm actually going to Google this while we talk because now I'm like
Interesting.
unsure of how that was done. So yeah, so the Philly sour, yeah, you know what? I don't know. Screw it. I'll type and go at the same time. So one thing I liked about this is something I really liked about Guava 66, rest in peace, is that it was a very nice mix of still keeping the original greatness of the 66 while also really pressing up and making sure that like the guava had great notes. And it's clear that Barnhammer has something when it comes to doing guava-based beers because the guava, I think it was the TCB, really lacked the guava flavor, whereas I found the Collective Arts guava was almost like too juice forward. Like it was very sweet. And Barnhammer finds a really nice middle ground between the two to basically like execute a nice clean guava flavor. So I still hope they release Guava 66, but I gave this a 4 out of 5 because it is extremely sessionable. And there's something about the way Barnhammer handles the guava that really appeals to me. Also as a sour, not like really well balanced, like not overtly tart, but very like smooth tartness, which is like a hard balance, right? Smooth and tart will typically go together with some popular, like some really awesome flavor. So it's good. It's real good.
I gave it a 4.25 on Untappd. I thought it was delicious. I thought it was a really good effort by them. And it tasted like guava.
Because all the guavas you've had in your lifetime.
Well, I'm a very big guava connoisseur, Matt, actually. So
is that beyond your love of apples, oranges, bananas, and grapes?
Does Pat hate all those things?
I feel like I'm being attacked, and I don't really know why.
Those are the only fruits Pat will eat. Much like myself, I'm not a big fruit guy.
Except bananas. We don't have bananas in the house anymore. I don't eat them quick enough, and they just go black.
Well,
yeah, bananas are hard. Bananas aren't easy fruits to drink or eat. They're like very like finicky with how fast you consume them.
But anyways, guys, so quick recap. Matt had what was it called again?
Jingle Bell Bock.
Jingle Bell Bock from Fort Garry. He gave it a 4 out of 5 on Untappd. You can follow him at Matt with Dos Tays. I had the Onkel Georg Whiskey Sour Radler from Stone Angel Brewing Company. I give it a 4.25 on Untappd. You can follow me at Pat Gagne. And Jordan at JSco55 had the Guavatron 2000 from Barnhammer, and he gave it a 4 out of 5 on Untappd, which leads us now to the Winnipeg Beer News of the Week.
Yes, Winnipeg Beer News of the Week. Thank you, Patrick. This was a lengthy Winnipeg Beer News of the Week. I'm actually rapidly scrolling back, and here we are.
We got a good system going now.
Yes, we do. So the craft beer market, the Quality Inn, all right, the Q as we like to call it, are bringing in on November 27th. They're launching the Goose Island Bourbon County Stout. Now, the thing about this is they could only get so many. So there are 40 bottles. Right, they got inspired by Kilter putting out very small batches that only a few people could get, and decided to go down that path. So there's going to be 40 bottles available, and that's it. So you can send them a DM with your full name and expect to go into a random lottery app and hopefully get a bottle of this Bourbon County Stout. So really interesting start from them. Good luck to anyone out there who wants to grab that. TransCanada has brought back the Starfighter Triple IPA. Now, it's a triple IPA. So I haven't had it, and I know Pat hasn't had it. But Matt, anything you want to say on this?
I have not had it, but 2 reliable sources. I feel like me and them would get along when COVID's over and we can finally meet these guys, I'm gonna meet them. Bobby's Beers and John's Beer Reviews, they both loved it. Follow them both on Instagram. I will shamelessly plug them. They are both excellent beer reviewers.
Oh, good. Another thing we didn't get consulted about for a free ad. Cool.
Oh yeah. So much for no free ads.
You guys are mad that I'm plugging Bobby's Beers and John's Beer Review?
I'm not mad, just disappointed. It's fine. It's fine, Matt. Don't worry
If
about it.
if they don't plug us back, there's no quid pro quo. They're dead to me.
Cool. But they both thoroughly enjoyed this triple IPA, and I cannot wait to pick one up.
Great. Thanks for interrupting the beer news for that free ad, Matt. All right. So Sucrums has released Wilhelm Scream. First of all, solid band. All right. Just go back in time. Very little known band. Wilhelm Scream. Awesome name. A double IPA.
Also, Pat, what is it?
Yeah, it's a stock laugh track or scream track for movies.
Yeah, the Wilhelm Scream, which is why it's such a great name. But go ahead and give that a try from Sucrums, a double IPA. All right, some notes on that bad boy is they got dry hopped Talus Mosaic and Cryo Citra, 8%, which means it's going to leave you feeling warm and fuzzy. Make sure you give that a try. Vessel on the Horizon continues with their awesome art. They have a collab with Never Better Coffee coming very soon. Now, that does scream coffee stout, but what I'm hoping is we get like a coffee ale or like a coffee milkshake IPA.
Cool.
I want weird. That's what I want. I feel like if you just do a coffee stout, then cool, you did something like everybody else has done.
It does look kind of milkshakey though.
That's why I'm wondering if they're trying to go in different.
I'll try it. It looks good. I'll try it.
Some sad news.
Oh.
Terrible news.
Some terrible news.
R.I.P.
Sucrums is putting the MacGuffin out to pasture. Frankly, I understand it. How many comments do you see about Winnipeg? I think them and Nonsuch had the only 2 comments I've seen, and this one is going to be going the way of the dog. So Sucrums to MacGuffin, thank you for your service. What, the way of the dog? You guys haven't heard that?
I believe it's the way of the dinosaur is the proper.
Dinosaurs.
Is the way of the, I thought it was the way of the dog.
Why the dogs still exist?
Not every dog.
What the hell?
So Sucrums, rest in peace, MacGuffin. Thank you for your service. Low Life has put out I think, actually, did we talk about this?
No, this is not news. This is not news.
Oh, this is not news. This is.
Oh, is it news?
Basically, it's the Low Light Barrel Brett Saison. Pat said he was going to do that this week, or he said he was going to try
the table beer, actually. It's not a Saison.
Whatever. I don't care. Pat, have you had it?
No, not yet.
I need you to film yourself drinking it for the first time, because
Yes.
if you haven't had a Brett before, it's a must that you
Okay.
do that.
I can do that.
B-Boys, my favorite brewery in all of Oak Bluff, is coming back out with the Small Town. I told you this was a long one today. It's formerly known as Hippity Hops. So this one's nice because, as you know, the 2 things they do is basically, they really rock their meads, and then they have the strawberry version, the mojito version of their mead. But this one's actually nice because they actually hop it using Prairie Gem hops, Kviek ale yeast, and local hops. So nice to see them back with that. Hopefully we'll see that in January. And finally, let's talk about it. Oh no, we got one thing before that. Barnhammer.
Yeah.
Barnhammer is coming out with the Embrace Spiced Winter Ale. So this is going to be a nice mix of vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves and dark cocoa. So that should warm you up nice and bright. Now let's get to the last thing today, Kilter. Kilter's recent, let's say, small batch releases have caused much ado in this podcast. And so they decided that they were going to come out with something else. The affogato, which is named after the traditional Italian dessert, which is coffee and ice cream, which is so good. They're going to do an Italian coffee dessert imperial stout. It's going to be 10%, and you can get 1 can per person. Okay, so that comes out Friday at 2 p.m. Okay. So everyone, you're going to want to make sure that Friday at 2 p.m. and only Friday at 2 p.m., not before then, do you obtain the affogato?
So Jordan, if people are listening to this on Wednesday, they think you're a dummy.
Oh, right, because it doesn't matter. Okay, so it comes out on Tuesday, but I don't want any of you to have a chance at it, okay? Or you can all get it after I get mine. So because this comes out on Wednesday, it came out yesterday. To be honest with you, I'll probably be, I won't have one either because fuck me, right? I live in the south end of the city. Why do I deserve to get a small batch release? And you know what? Furthermore, again, I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast. Why haven't we come up with a way to not lose beer in the canning process? We are doing so many great things as a society, and we still lose beer in the canning process.
They are literally canning this by hand.
I don't care. I don't understand it. I want someone to come up with a way that we never lose any beer in the canning process. Scientists and engineers, stop screwing around with medical issues and COVID and start figuring out how we can save beer from losing in a canning process, because Kilter's out here with Spilly McShaky hands. If someone has a little wobble to them, we're just losing beer left, right, and center. Kilter's hand when they're filling up the beer on Instagram, it's like he's performing heart surgery, like he's trying so hard not to spill any of this. So anyways,
sound upset about it.
I'm calm. I'm fine. It's almost like when my
You're fine. Are you fine?
It's fine.
I'm the dog with the fire all around him. Pat, back to you at the studio.
Thank you, Jordan. So yeah, that was a beautiful beer news of the week. Lots of great beer news. This city crushing it with the new beers. Very much enjoying it. And when we come back, we will have some wet breads and rocket ships.
This is dangerous, JR. This is real dangerous.
All right, and we're back. We're going to do some wet breads and rocket ship. Before we do that, I want to give a special shout out to friend of the show, Shauna. She runs the food blog for busy moms, Too Busy Living 204 on Instagram. Give her a follow. She does meal prep. She does cooking. She does some shit I could never even think of. She's got 4 kids at home. She's a teacher, and she crushes it. She gave us a big shout out because I bought her. She did me a favor, so I bought her a S'more Scout from Kilter, and she made some bitchin' cupcakes with it.
They were hella good.
They were super good. And so hopefully we can do a little bit more with her one day. But yeah, give her account a look on Too Busy Living 204 on Instagram, and follow the links, get to her blog for a wicked bitchin' recipe for some S'more Scout cupcakes. Highly recommend it. All right, so we are back. Time for some wet breads and some rocket ships, a little bit of wrestling talk. What do you want to start with, Matt? You make the decision because this is your podcast.
Jordan, I'd like to consult with you.
Oh.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you believe we should start with the rocket ships or the wet breads?
I believe we start with rocket ships.
Okay.
May I go first?
Jordan, should Pat go first?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Okay, so I went a little off the board this week with my rocket ship. I was a little bit bored one night, and I stumbled upon the MLW restart on YouTube. MLW shut down during the pandemic for a few months. They are now back. They had like a 3-match YouTube show card. And let me tell you, I haven't watched MLW in a really, really, really long time. This was freaking awesome. Jordan, this is right up your alley. They lay shit in so hard. It has a very feel like a combat sport feel. I know Filthy Tom Lawler used to be their champion.
Okay.
They showcased 3 champions during the show. Their middleweight, who gives a shit? He was against Brian Pillman Jr. I love Brian.
Wasn't Fatu against Pillman?
No. My rocket ship.
Oh, well.
It is his show, apparently.
Yeah. Well, listen up. Brian Pillman Jr., he's awesome. He was on Dark a few times. I watched a couple of his matches. He's spectacular. Super good in the ring. He lost, but it's not a big deal. We saw Hammerstone. He's their open weight champion. They're really big into weight classes. They always talk about their cutting weight and bullshit. Hammerstone does not have to cut weight. He is a freaking monster. He squashed somebody.
His finisher, I saw it on Instagram. That is sick.
Coolest finisher in wrestling. And let me tell you, this guy looks like $1 million fucking dollars.
If Vince McMahon has not seen him, he needs to be shown him, because Vince can make a lot of money with this guy.
Court Bauer, he used to be a writer for WWE, runs MLW. Announced they just re-signed Hammerstone to a contract extension, so he's sticking around for a little bit longer.
Oh, they did?
which is a good thing.
Yeah, but you know what though? If the WWE comes calling, they'll pay that
Oh,
buyout,
For
right?
sure. Well, MJF was under contract with MLW, and then he signed a contract with AEW. There's ways around everything.
Yeah.
But that's where MJF came from. He was originally with MLW, but then the main event was their world champion, heavyweight champion, Jacob Fatu, who doesn't look like much, but he is a monster.
He is a Samoan wrecking machine.
Absolutely fantastic. He wrestled Davey Boy Smith Jr., who was Harry Smith in WWE, British Bulldog's son. These two beat the shit out of each other. I was all in. They got a tournament coming up. It's called the Opera Cup. There's a whole thing. Oh, thanks for flashing in my eyes, Matt. Appreciate it.
This is
I
a
don't
new
understand.
thing.
I cannot
I
wait
understand.
till we're back together so he can't. Like,
No.
it's so annoying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
take
use
this phone.
Flash every time.
So, yeah, they got a lot of really good talent. They got some cool little storylines. If you want a good listen to Court Bauer on Talk is Jericho. He explains how they do things there. It's wild. It is so old school. It's fantastic. I'm going to watch every match of the Opera Cup that's coming up. It's kind of their version of anything like just a tournament. And there's a champion. There's a trophy. They got it from Stu Hart. It's pretty bitchin'.
So
I'm going to
there's a
watch it.
tournament, a champion, and a trophy.
Fucking rights.
Unbelievable.
That's
What
about as wrestling
trailblazers?
as you can get.
Trailblazers in
Old
the wrestling
school,
industry.
baby. So yeah, that's my MLW. The restart is my rocket ship. And Matt, I'll throw it to you for your
No,
rocket
I'm gonna
ship.
throw it to Jordan.
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
team
Your
player.
show again, eh?
Oh,
Your
wow.
show again, eh?
What a huge throw.
Jordan, are you okay if I throw it to you?
Yes. So my rocket ship this week, very straightforward. It's actually nice. I don't have to pick through the crumbs. I can just pick something outright. The ending of NXT was fucking awesome.
It was. It was so good.
So much fun. McAfee cut an amazing promo. I loved how Finn came out and pretty much just body bagged the entire Io Shirai winning thing. That was the only part. I mean, we'll get to that. But just absolutely bitch slapped the idea of Io Shirai winning mattering. And then the Undisputed Era coming out to challenge those four with Finn's backing. It was pandemonium at its very finest and had everything I like to see from wrestling. So I don't know much more to say about it because it was that good. Just go and watch it. But you got a McAfee promo, you got a Finn promo, and you got an Undisputed Era tease for War Games, which means that tells me I think it's going to be McAfee and those three with Undisputed Era for a War Games match, which is must-watch TV.
Whoa!
Carnage. Absolute fucking
Must-watch
carnage.
TV. So, but then a low-key highlight was McAfee box jumping the side of the ring. And I can't remember who got up beside him. I think it was Pete Dunne, who just looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing? You're making me look bad by box jumping the ring. But that's my rocket ship of the week. I'll keep it nice and simple.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Pete doesn't look good. I don't know what you're talking about.
It looks a little gaunt.
We're just getting used to his more svelte physique.
Yeah.
But yeah, but long story short, not much else to talk about. I just had a big smile at the end. The end of NXT changed my mood from what happened just before the end of NXT. That's how much fun.
Which we'll get to, I think, eh?
Which we'll get to, yes.
All right, my rocket ship. I'm gonna go off the board a little. Well, not off the board, but I'm gonna do something we don't normally do. Survivor Series last night as a whole is my rocket ship.
Very strong card. Very strong.
That was one of the best WWE shows of the year, if not the best. Now, let me run this down for you.
They've had a couple good ones in a row. Wasn't their last one solid?
Yeah, the last one was solid as well.
They're doing all right.
They're doing well with this. They're really. I'll get to it. So, first of all, the Raw clean sweep in their men's Survivor Series match. I liked that story. I liked that Jey Uso was the last guy, and I loved that Keith Lee was showcased so well in the match.
Amen.
Really
Amen.
Then the passing of the torch / the giving of the rub, the New Day giving that to the Street Profits.
Great match. Best match on the card.
Best match on the card. They had an absolute banger of a match. Montez Ford is a star. Him selling that rib injury was one of the best sold. He did a frog splash and then couldn't cover the guy because just the logic behind everything was super good. This match wasn't great, but Sami Zayn was amazing. Sami Zayn against Lashley. Sami Zayn was an incredible heel, impeccable timing on just like the way he was utilizing the fact that you can actually hear him speak. And then also just his character work, his conspiracy theory. I'm really digging that.
I love Sammy right now.
Yeah, he's great.
Banks and Asuka put on an absolute wrestling clinic.
I heard that
They
was
let
good too.
And they let him wrestle. No shenanigans. I thought Carmelo was going to come out and crush him.
No, that was just an absolute clinic.
Shenanigans?
If one more person says shenanigans, I'm gonna pistol whip you.
Hey, what's that restaurant with all that goofy shit on the walls? Oh, shenanigans? You mean shenanigans?
Oh,
There's two good movie references to that. Shenanigans, like obviously Super Troopers, but there's a movie with Dane Cook that I think was called Shenanigans, and that was like one of those like, or was it Shenanigans? But it was like
No, it's called Waiting. It's called Waiting.
Wasn't the restaurant called Shenanigans?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
And that was one of the.
What's it called?
Okay, I'm gonna check. Hold on. But I think that movie was like just one of those like terrible but like super funny when you're like younger movies.
Waiting is one of those movies.
Yeah, Shenanigans is the restaurant.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Matt, you were super fucking wrong.
I apologize.
The computer slowed down exactly as he said that. So I apologize.
The women's Survivor Series match was the weakest match on the card. It was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Reigns and McIntyre did what the two top guys in a company should do. They went and they tore the house down.
Amen.
Both looked strong. They evoked emotion. The finish was logical, and nobody came out of that any worse for the wear, in my opinion.
They're both badasses, certified badasses.
And McIntyre now has a huge sword, like an actual sword.
Whoa.
He's got a broadsword. He has an actual broadsword.
That doesn't make it any better, Pat.
He probably slays with that thing.
And last but not least,
I felt hook on that thing.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. Last but not least, I feel like
he now Captain Stabbin?
Can I just properly give the Undertaker his send off?
Yeah. That was nice.
I feel like it was really well done. It was, I think, very Taker-esque.
Paul Bear hologram was sick.
Yeah, that was sick. Just the whole thing was really well done, and I feel like it just capped off a really, like, my wife came down at 10:30 and she was like, "I'm going to bed. You're not done yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't fast forwarded one match." And she was like, "Oh, it must be good then." And she just left me alone.
I always record pay-per-views when I'm by myself so I can fast forward a little bit. I think I hit the skip 30 seconds button 8 times when Taker was walking down in the ring. Holy shit, man.
Oh yeah, it took a long time.
Hurry the fuck up, man.
Yeah. You know what's disappointing? I'll just say, Matt, it's like, it's kind of, I like that you said Survivor Series is good, because that's a good thing. But I'm so used to them not being good.
Yeah.
That I don't have to worry about it. And now I'm getting concerned that I have to start worrying about it. Like, I pretty much just watch Roman Reigns, whatever he does, and then don't care about everything. Oh, and Bray and Alexa. That's really, I just catch up on that and then keep it moving. But I am very slowly becoming concerned because Riddle's getting more time. And every time I see him on Instagram, I laugh. So I feel like I have to watch. And it's starting to get to the point where I feel like I might have to start watching WWE Raw and SmackDown again, which concerns me greatly for my own life and mental health.
If I can just, what I do is generally speaking, I check out Instagram. I follow a bunch of accounts that show clips. If something intrigues me, I then go back and maybe fast forward to that and watch that. That's what I do.
Because I watch NXT and AEW religiously, like front to back. But yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like the next pay-per-view, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, I believe, is the next one.
That's throwaway.
Yeah. Really, we're waiting for Royal Rumble. Right?
Is the Rumble going to be at the Trop?
Yes. Yeah. With fans, maybe.
That's what I'm saying, because Florida, like, I know there's been some fans.
Florida didn't give a fuck, so.
No. I hope, this is such a long shot with the way Winnipeg's going, but God, I hope we can go back to, like, some sort of
We
orange.
just need 5 people.
Just 5. Like,
Yeah.
just give me something so we can get together because I want to watch
Winnipeg,
that and
get it
record
together
after.
so the 3 of us can get together to watch
Please.
Royal Rumble, please.
Yeah, by January, I'm just getting. I'll fuck Christmas. Right? Just like get it figured
Right?
out for the Royal Rumble.
My wife doesn't listen to
Rumble,
this, so I
Super
don't
Bowl.
care. Fuck Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do some wet breads now?
Yeah, Pat, you lead us off. Let's go in the same order.
All right. My wet bread is the Inner Circle slays the Las Vegas. Moving on.
Oh.
What?
Oh
Hold
wait,
on.
I thought, Pat, why don't you like it?
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything.
No, Pat, why don't you like it? I thought like the stuff that they were doing and everything
All
they were
right.
progressing towards
Okay.
was, like,
Look,
kind of comedy on
leading
TV.
up to this, I enjoyed absolutely everything. But as
You're a
soon as the
liar.
Inner Circle slayed Vegas, which was basically the
Copied the
Hangover,
Hangover. Yeah.
which was
It wasn't basically the Hangover, Pat.
It was the
the
Hangover.
Hangover.
It was so hokey. It was not funny. It was so predictable. It was a waste of every talent there. It just, where is this going?
It
Can I
sucked
ask,
out
where's
loud.
Where's
That's
this
what it
going
did.
right now? Where's it going? Are we going to Jericho against MJF again? I don't know. Where are we going?
Going
with this?
to the Inner Circle kicking out.
Is this
Jericho.
a too many cooks ruin the meal, or are too many ingredients ruin the soup? I don't know. I can't remember this.
There's just a lot of guys in this storyline,
yeah,
and there's
that
a
don't
lot
need
of
to be there.
like. Is
I'm
this
gonna
gonna
go. I'm gonna go back to what I said last week. I want MJF to be a prick, and right now they're trying to make him
Because
a
they
comedy
could
act.
save this whole segment if MJF just goes off the rail, like just decides that like he's gonna fight the entire Inner Circle. You know what I mean? And I think it puts them both over. I think if MJF finds a way to really get like every member of the Inner Circle start infighting and starts to really pull the strings, because I think you see like you can have Santana and Ortiz start to fight. You could have Sammy and Chris have some back and forth. Like, I just think it's too many people and it's really messy, and it's like they have two talented roster players really fucking things
and
up.
maybe it's a good thing, but the way I look at it, like I'm really good at deciphering where a story's going to go. I just don't know where this is going to go, and I don't really see a good way of it going.
Because there
I
isn't.
just don't
This
know.
is a dumb
Yeah.
story.
I feel like someone's going to get not buried, but look weak, and that's none of them should look weak.
It feels very, and maybe this
Big brain thinking. Wardlow's gonna look weak.
Oh, I hope not.
which is sad because what I was going to say is this feels very week by week. Like, I feel like AEW does at least a decent job of planning out their next move, and this one feels very seat of the pants. It feels to me from the outside that they just looked at this and was like, hey, we're just going to coast off the obvious comedic talent we have. And I think that's failing them here. I think a lack of planning is really hurting whoever's producing this segment,
Yep.
this spec.
I just have this thing in my head that Wardlow's gonna lose to Hager to get Hager over a little bit more, and I don't like that.
Which is dumb because does Hager need to get over anymore? Like, he just
Nope.
won a Bellator fight. You know what I mean? Like, do you need to stack him up anymore?
I want to do an honorable mention, but I don't want to take it from you guys if you're going to do it.
You know what mine is, so.
Yeah. Matt, are you on AEW?
No.
Okay. My honorable mention for Wet Bread is Will Hobbs joining Team Taz. I don't
What? Oh my god, that was
no,
almost
that's a great swerve. You gotta
Until
let that play
Sunday-
out. You gotta let
until
that play
Survivor
out.
Series happens. That was my rocket ship.
You
No,
gotta
I
let
want-
that play out.
I
You
want Will
can't
Hobbs
jump on
to.
that.
I wanted Will Hobbs to destroy Team Taz. That's what I wanted.
No, you can't jump on that yet.
Are
In
you
a few
for
weeks,
real?
maybe, not now. You have to see where that goes. That was
Are you for real, Matt? Are you for real?
that was a great swerve. I did not see that coming. I was shocked when that happened.
And who better to learn from than freaking Brian Cage?
Can you imagine them as a tag team?
You could You could have
Oh.
seen. No, you could have seen them. He could have learned from him by just being in a program with him. He didn't need to be with him.
I just feel like
I just.
this. I really,
I'm
really
interested.
like that
I'm
move.
intrigued.
All right,
Oh.
Jordan, what's your wet bread? Let's get this Rhea Ripley bullshit out of the way.
It is a fucking travesty that we continue to build up Rhea Ripley and then just have her lose to Io Shirai.
She's going to the main roster, Jordan.
When? Because I bet you dollars to donuts we're going to see her on NXT this week. Was she on Raw tonight?
No.
Okay, then let's talk about it. Because if I don't see her on NXT, then maybe she's going to SmackDown. But I don't think she is. I think she's down there and she's going to stay in NXT to continue to help put over other stars. And it's ridiculous because the star they're trying to pull over is not going to change a lick of shit in the North American women's wrestling scene. And unless Io is going to start NXT Japan soon, I just don't see what she's doing at the top and what they're pushing. There's no Asuka level drive to it. I'd even like to see Dakota Kai as champion personally. Like, I think Dakota Kai as champion would be pretty nice with Rodriguez. No shit.
Raquel Gonzalez.
Thank you. Raquel Gonzalez. With her, I think that's actually really good. I would love to see Dakota Kai as the champion and have Rhea Ripley chase that, but I do not understand. Io Shirai adds no value to that championship because she can't cut a promo, and I don't think she's so great in the ring that it overcomes that.
Listen, I agree with you. She's either going up to the main roster or she's going to continue to put people over because she is an easy stopgap, and I don't think NXT's women's division has enough talent right now because they moved up a few people, i.e. Bianca Belair,
right,
too quickly, and now they have nobody to challenge for the title.
I agree. In my opinion, the only Dakota, Gonzalez, and Rhea are the only three women in NXT who I even care to watch.
See, with me, this whole situation, I don't really watch NXT, but with Rhea Ripley, either shit or get off the pot. Are you going to make her a dominant force in any division of the women's division, or are you just going to continue this up and down 50-50 bullshit booking?
I genuinely think in my opinion, Dakota Kai becomes champion, and you have Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota play keep away from Rhea running for the next number of months. I don't think you need to do
That's
anything
why
more
I
than
think
that.
Rhea already beat Raquel, so I that's why I just feel like she's going to SmackDown.
She's the move, yeah.
She's going to SmackDown. We are clearly headed towards Sasha versus Carmella on SmackDown. Rhea can run roughshod over the rest of the roster and set herself up to be.
I mean, I'll tell you this: if that happens, I'm going to be watching SmackDown because I still think she's one of the most entertaining. And I actually kind of lament the fact that she's in the WWE because I feel like she has the ability to be even more hard hitting. I feel like she could be a truck if she was still in NXT UK, but I feel like they've almost tapered her back a bit. But
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. I really don't understand what the goal is with Io Shirai. I don't need Rhea to be champion, but I don't understand the goal of having Io Shirai.
Yeah, you fucking do. You need her to be champion.
She should be the fucking champ, man.
Don't fucking do that bullshit.
She's entertaining as shit.
I'm okay with her just winning matches. No, you want her to be champion of all brands, Jordan. You could just see it.
She's the most entertaining women's wrestler in
I agree with Jordan
NXT,
though. Io Shirai cannot cut a promo. Why is the belt been on her this long?
Trying something, man. They're trying it. So
Trying what?
Oh, by the way, Karrion Kross should be back soon. I'm just putting that back in your minds because it's been a while.
And he should beat Finn right away.
Oh yeah, he should get the title back. Yeah, squashed. Which sucks because who did Finn get squashed by way back in Raw when he went first? Bray. That's who he lost to. He got beaten by the Fiend.
All right, Matt. Finish this out. What's your wet bread of the week, my man?
I'm gonna go a little bit back in the WWE history books. Not that far back, obviously, but the 24/7 championship has lost its entertainment value. That's what it was. It
Lost.
Question.
Yes.
That's still a thing?
Yes.
When
Jordan?
did it have it before? The only funny thing that's ever come from the 24/7 championship is when Corey Graves said I would utilize the small package. That's the only funny related 24/7 thing that's ever happened. That's the dumbest championship the WWE has ever made.
I think it provided great filler for 3-hour Raws. I think it really allowed R-Truth to be featured every week.
Thank God.
But he's hilarious.
Can you imagine
can't
a
deny.
wrestling show where we don't have a program with R-Truth and Drake Maverick going after the 24/7 championship?
I can imagine it.
No, Pat. This is what we need. This is what we need. Matt's. Oh wait,
All
Matt.
right,
This
guys.
is your wet bread. No, sorry. I'm actually going at you like this is your rocket ship. And
No, this is not my rocket ship.
This is a wet bread.
Honestly, guys, I was semi-entertained by the 24/7 championship when it first came out, and when R-Truth kind of was doing these creative things. Semi-entertained. Now it comes on the screen. That was what I fast forwarded last night on Survivor Series. I was like, why is this on a paper? This is a kickoff show. It was on the kickoff show. Leave it on the kickoff show. That should be all that I'm seeing.
Can you imagine that you burned a Mick Foley appearance to introduce that piece of shit belt?
First of all, that belt is ugly as tits.
When was that?
That's a lie. Tits are.
That was a long time ago. When
they used Mick Foley for the 24.
Yeah, he introduced it like it was the hardcore belt. That's what they introduced it as. It was stupid. It was awful. Like that's a really easy one. Like that's Matt. Matt. That's a true wet bread because I am totally on board with that.
That's gross.
It was one of those things that I saw last night, and I sort of was like, man, I was mildly entertained by this before, and now I'm.
It's nothing. It's a waste of time.
Like, phase it out. Do a WWE and just stop showing it. Like,
if it disappeared,
is it sad that I think Gronk was the last great 24/7 champion?
You mean the guy who got shown up by 80-something-year-old Vince McMahon falling off a fucking?
That was great. That's great. That's an all-time moment.
So, by the way, is Retribution still active? Like, what is happening with that?
They beat the Hurt Business last week. Yeah. Okay,
that'll be it.
See,
that's another discussion.
FYI, I'm watching Raw as we record. They have not been featured on tonight's Raw, and it's been very good this Raw.
You say a few things about Survivor Series, and it's like, oh, maybe I should start watching again. And then I remember that Retribution beat the Hurt Business, and I'm like, you know what? Never fucking mind. Like, I genuinely don't care.
Especially because the Hurt Business is one of the best things in WWE.
Like, eventually I'll have to start watching Raw and SmackDown only because people like Karrion Kross and other people, like, eventually WWE will become old NXT superstars up top.
Mind-blowing thing here, all-time rocket ship for WWE, go to one show. How good would WWE be if they had one weekly main roster show?
And then just, like, cut a bunch of the trash?
Yeah, it'd be stuck. It'd be.
But and then they'd lose so much money.
No, they'd have no. Like they would like one roster.
No, I'm saying one show.
Oh, that'd be They could.
They'd lose too much money.
They'd lose a ton of money. Okay, take money out of the equation. Take money out of the equation.
You're right. We should also stop breathing because it's Vince McMahon. We should just take money right out of the equation.
Pat, just. Let's cut it off.
No, like right. That's a good point. Like I like where your head's at, but we have to come up with
it's a money machine.
Okay, one roster, or go to the model we've talked about before on this show, where you put tag team wrestling and maybe a women's division on one show. Like you already have an A and a B. They've made SmackDown more their.
I like the idea of this might be a number of years away, but having a men's wrestling and a women's wrestling show.
That's not going to happen.
It will never happen.
That just won't sell. Nobody will watch.
I'd watch both.
Yeah, you're one person, so yeah, that's great.
I matter. My vote matters.
Speaking of women's wrestling, honorable mention, AEW keeps taking NWA talent and putting it on their show, and it's the best women's wrestling they can feature.
Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb.
They actually took their best women's talent and put it in.
That match was actually decent. I guess it was good, but I said decent because I couldn't believe how good it was. Actually, I was kind of like, God damn it! I just finished body bagging Serena Deeb, and now she's a good match.
All right, so we'll put a little bow on that one because it's time to come back and do a retro review of Survivor Series 2001.
Jordan, did you watch this one?
I did in 2001. So
okay, perfect. That's all I need.
God.
Oh, Michael, this is going to be fun to watch.
All right, one last one. Oh, we're back from last time. Bernadette, yeah, she's cool.
On Big Bang Theory, she's hot.
You realize no one heard the joke, so no one knows what you're talking about.
It's okay. She's a smoke.
The joke was, what do you call a woman who burns all her bills?
Bernadette.
Bernadette.
We Bernadette.
It would have been funnier if they just could piece together.
It would have been funnier if we didn't reference it at all, probably.
Yeah.
Is this one of those times where I should have consulted with the other guys on the
Yeah, you
pod?
should have. But it's fine. It's fine.
Matt, I'm just lashing out because we're not allowed to be together, and it upsets me. It makes me sad.
Oh, yeah. Retro, way to go.
Way to go, Brian Pallister.
Yeah. Wow. So,
I'm not blaming anyone specific, just entirely Brian. No, I'm just kidding. We should interview him, and he could be like,
what would you have done? What would you have done?
"What was that woman's name?" He kept saying her name over.
Rosemary.
Rosemary. It was fucking hilarious.
All right, back on track.
Rosemary.
Back on track.
Rosemary.
All
We're not a
right,
political
so,
podcast.
Rosemary.
this has nothing to do with politics. It was just funny as shit.
Yeah, it was funny.
All right, so retro review time.
Rosemary.
Summer. Shut up.
Can that be the
SummerSlam.
name of the episode? Could it just be
No.
Rosemary?
It's no. SummerSlam 2001 for the retro review. Prime time in storytelling in WWE, but WWF at that time. So Matt, I'll throw it to you too.
Well, it was WWE at that time.
Oh, is it? Dial it up, dumbass.
No, it wasn't. It was
No, it wasn't. It was
WWF.
Was it?
Yes, I'm looking right at it on Wikipedia.
Now you're a dumbass, Matt. So dial it up.
Dial it up, you legitimate idiot.
November 18th, 2001, from the
Rosemary.
Greensboro Coliseum Complex in Greensboro, North Carolina.
You know what
There
that
was-
is? You know what the state flower is? Rosemary.
That's not a flower, it's an herb.
You're an herb.
There was 10,142 people there. And they were all pretty hype about this.
It was a pretty fire card, so I don't doubt it.
Yes, it was. The intro, like they didn't get to see the intro, but the intro was epic. I was
They don't
hyped.
play that on the Titantron?
I don't know, did they?
I
don't
hope
know.
they do.
Never been to a pay-per-view, so I have
I'm
no
sure they
idea.
do now. I bet you they would now.
Yeah, it was a badass intro package. I'll tell you that.
And
though.
then you get Heyman and JR on the announce table.
Heyman and JR.
That might be the
3
best
on the list.
combo.
No. It goes Gorilla Monsoon, Paul Heyman, or
Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan. Okay, that's fair.
JR and King during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And then Heyman and JR.
Hashtag puppies.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
For sure.
It's fantastic. So this is basically the storyline this is the final hurrah for the shitty
Ranking
alliance.
of Jerry Lawlers. Horny Jerry Lawler. Heart attack Jerry Lawler. Regular Jerry Lawler.
Horny is number one all the
Horny
time.
1. Heart attack 2. Regular 3.
Wow.
Wow. So yeah,
Michael
this was,
Cole freaking out 2B.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, this was the old Shane came in, bought WCW from under his father. Stephanie bought ECW, a company that didn't exist. And they came in and we're the alliance and we're going to take over WWF.
Is this one of the best storylines all time in wrestling?
No.
I know, like,
It's-
looking back, it has to be top 5.
It's a sus.
No, it's not.
This storyline should have been better than it was.
And it was still very good.
It was still very good, but it should have been better than it was. The issue was they didn't get the right WCW guys.
And we will talk about that later on.
Oh yeah, we're about to talk about it.
So they let off with a European title match because the European title was still a thing. Christian is your champion against Al Snow. I would just like to say, easily forgotten, underrated as shit. Christian's entrance music and entrance at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Christian!
This
All the
was
pyro
Peeps.
ball
This
now.
was Peeps era, right?
No, it was before.
Was it
No, this
before?
is-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Also-
Peeps yet.
Also underrated, Teddy Long as a ref. He was a
Yeah.
good ref.
He was super. You know who else is underrated? Just because he was kind of white bread vanilla. Al Snow.
Al Snow, good hand.
Good hand. OVW. He still runs that. Still churns out some good talent. Guy knows how to work. And if you want to, in my opinion, you know how I am. If you want to start off a pay-per-view, you do it with a high energy banger tag team match, or 2 guys who know how to work and can put on a good technical match.
This was pretty nondescript. It was a pretty just generic match. But I mean, it was well executed. There was nothing wrong with this match. Never once did I like, I'm bored.
Well, yeah, I wasn't bored. You know why? Because Al Snow did the Snow Plow, which is low-key the best name for a finisher if your name's Al Snow. It is fucking awesome. I love that
Also,
name.
did you notice Christian used the Titantron for timing's sake? He kept
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at the Titantron to like see when Al Snow was jumping and stuff.
Well, they all do
thought
that.
that was
That's
kinda
like a
cool.
thing. That's a
I know,
everybody
but
does that.
I you don't catch it very often.
Mm.
And
To
this,
tell with him, yeah.
it was good. It just little
Is there
things you
I
notice.
feel like there's a delay on it, isn't there?
No,
There
it's
is.
pretty. Is there? It seems pretty bang on every time they look at it.
Live, it would probably be runner, but probably to us, there's a delay.
Yeah. But yeah, this was just like a kind of whatever. It was for the European title, but nobody really cared. Christian ends up winning this match. Solid as shit. Meltzer gives it 2 3/4 star. Matt, what'd you give it?
I gave it 2.5. It was right in the middle. It's a good match.
You know what? I really enjoyed this match to kick it off. I give it a 2.8 out of 5.
2.8, eh?
Yeah, just above Meltzer, just below a 3. I really enjoyed it.
You amaze me with your consistency.
And you know what? You know what's fucked up though? Now when I rate them when I'm watching a match, I go like even a match I'm not gonna review, I just like, oh, that's a 2.4. In my head, I just like, why am I saying 2.4? It could just be a 2.5. But you know what? That's how my brain works now. So whatever.
Okay, now next there's a match, but before the match,
Wait a minute,
Well-
hold on. I
What?
watched this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it
Oh,
Oh.
Christ.
Christian and Al Snow. That's a clean 2 out of 5 for me. I liked how it opened. Al Snow's head gimmick, always hilarious.
he wasn't
Yeah, that-
rocking the head gimmick.
Shut up.
You're a fucking
And so, yeah, 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5.
But I see, I can't argue with that. That's a okay rating.
So in between the matches, you got to see Deborah McMichael.
Thank you for the 2-finger hand
Smoke.
signal. Like as if your words couldn't have told us what. But Pat held his 2 fingers up to the camera like.
I like it better when Jordan doesn't watch the show.
I love Engaged Jordan, by the way.
Now last
but-
week I was like sitting back or 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
our last episode, I was just like lying down on the ground.
And that's too bad because that was a good card. Anyways, this is where I realized I forgot how much the Alliance team was a joke as far as the Alliance.
2 members were actual WCW, ECW guys.
Good members, RVD,
Yeah.
Booker T,
Yeah.
both company guys. Like RVD was an ECW guy.
Lifers.
Yep. But then you get Shane McMahon, who's the son of the chairman of WWF.
Yeah.
You get Kurt Angle, who is literally a WWF original,
Yeah.
like born and bred in WWF. And then finally, you get the biggest star, arguably, in WWF history for a 2-year period,
Hulk Hogan.
Disavow.
Steve Austin.
Oh, but Steve Austin, this was prime what era?
Oh,
What?
oh, what?
What? And then they also do an interview with Michael Cole. Michael Cole in this era, I have never wanted to kick someone's ass more than Michael
And you
Cole.
could have. He looks like a child.
He looks like an ass. He wears a horrible shirt, and his tips are frosted. Need I say more?
Okay, to be fair, 2001, big frosted tips era.
I'm pretty sure I had frosted tips in 2000.
I had frosted tips in 2001.
Yeah, we crushed
I
frosted
think,
tips. We made it look
I,
good,
think
though.
I had that too.
Anyone who was cool had it.
Yeah, I mean. So after that, the next match, you get William Regal against Tajiri with Tori Wilson. What's up?
That's a smoke.
It was just kind of a storyline match. Regal, there was a sloppy start. Regal got busted up real early and was
Because
pissed
they're
off
so
about it.
stiff. They're ridiculously stiff,
He was-
both of them.
You could tell he was pissed off.
I hate
about
how
it.
fucking short the match was.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was extremely short.
And the fact that it was like 1 out of 5. Regal bomb. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Too short.
I'll tell you though, low key, one of my favorite things in this match and things that's always forgotten in WWE history, Tajiri's flip to back elbow spot
Oh yeah.
off the ropes. I fucking love that.
Tajiri
so
had
cool.
Tajiri had a pretty solid top to bottom. That I think it was the buzzsaw kick and
Yeah.
the green mist were pretty
Oh,
fun.
and the
for the
tarantula.
spot.
The tarantula.
Oh, the tarantula.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy. hey, Io Shirai, maybe take a fucking note.
Yeah, so they hit hard.
Three things about this match. Number one,
You got 3 things out of this fucking thing?
Tajiri's pop was hilariously loud.
Mm.
Like, why was his pop so loud?
Because people love Tajiri.
Yeah,
And I did too. I really liked him.
I was a big Tajiri fan. Like you said, Green Mist, Tarantula, and
Tajiri
just
had
the
one of
buzz-
those finishers,
buzzsaw
that
kick.
buzzsaw kick. Okay, tell me if I'm wrong about this, but that was one of those moves that looked like genuinely like he decapitated someone. I find that's
Yes.
very commonplace in wrestling now, but like in the Here Comes the Pain video game, that looked like a finisher that knocked someone's head into next
Yeah,
week. So I
absolutely.
loved that kick.
Number 2, Tori Wilson. She's a smoke, but there's no way she should be taking William Regal's finisher because she
No.
cannot do it.
That was scary.
And number 3, Pat, it's 24-24 Rams Bucks right now. So
Oh,
your money
fuck.
line, yeah.
Son
sorry
of a
about that.
bitch.
Hold on, don't distract him. I'll update us as it goes.
Okay. Melsa gives us 1.5 out of 5. I gave it 1.3 out of 5. Matt, you gave it?
I gave it a 1.
Okay,
We're around
fair
the
enough.
same. We're around the same
That has a
wavelength.
lot of throwaway money if he because considering how many college basketball games there are, like I just stop betting on the NFL right now and just focus on.
Last game. They play this week. Get off my ass. So next match, a tale of 2 talents. We have the title unification. We have the Intercontinental Champion test. Didn't know that was a thing.
Four
And
name or 4-letter superstar against 4-letter superstar.
The U.S. champ Edge in a unification bout. This is a weird time because Edge comes out to Rob Zombie music, which fucking threw me off like crazy.
And
Wasn't into
Tess
it.
cut a promo before that was worse than an Ultimate Warrior promo.
I say this is a tale of 2 talents because you have Edge and Tess. If you look at them both, they both look like money. Like you can build something around them.
Tess looks like he should be more money.
Yeah, and then they both open their mouth. One is superior to the other one is total dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Tess is dog shit, Edge is money all day.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Like Edge is really good, even in this area. You forget. Sometimes you forget how good Edge is.
He's waiting in the wings, boys. He will come back. I know he doesn't want to come back unless there's a crowd, but just he's waiting. We'll see him again.
He'll be the biggest pop once fans are back.
I don't think you can. Okay, if there's fans in the Trop, you can't bring them back at the Rumble again, can you?
sure, why the fuck
Mm,
not?
Yeah, I think
That's
it'll
the
be-
last big pop with fans. Let's make it the first
I
big
bet
pop with
you
fans.
WWE doesn't go fans till the Rumble,
Oh yeah, I think that's when they're gonna do it. Yeah.
Hey guys,
and they're gonna
So,
unload the barrels on the Rumble.
so like when Edge came out at the Rumble, like there was dust, right? There's a lot of
Oh,
dust
it's
in the
super
basement.
dusty. Allergies.
No, I
So,
didn't have. My problem was South.
Oh.
Oh, I just got that.
Oh wow, all right.
I can respect that though. Allergies make me sometimes like that too.
Yeah, I didn't cry. I was just very excited. It was an awesome moment, and it was cool to watch any time of the day ever.
So going back to the match, Tess is a terrible seller. Tess
awful
is
seller.
awful. Tess
He's
is
good.
just bad.
He's good. He's good at big man moves. That's for sure. But that's it.
Yeah, so you could do like 3 moves.
Yeah, like he dominates the entire match because I
Funny
mean,
how his
why
name
not?
was Test when he failed at so many things.
Oh boy, he's
Why?
already test.
Why was Tess?
Oh my God, Andy's dead. I forgot he was dead. Sorry, Test.
But seriously, like who in the back was like a huge Test advocate and just pushed him? Because I feel like they gave him they gave him
Matt, I
every
think-
opportunity to succeed.
I think you're realizing that the problem that WWE has had a problem with pushing the wrong people for a long time. Vince just hit a lot more than he missed back then.
Yeah.
He's missing a lot. He missed a lot recently.
Yeah.
But like you still see guys like
Mhm.
Test and like getting put in big spots. And someone, in my opinion, William Regal, someone who deserved more than the mid card. That guy could talk and he could work a good match. It was when he was doing the brass knuckles gimmick, that guy
Just don't
could have found his way higher.
He wasn't marketable to
Yeah.
North America. though.
I don't just see he's not money.
I guess. Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. But I think if you look back at the Attitude Era, there's plenty of examples of Vince missing the mark again.
Test fit the model that Vince used, but he didn't have the intangibles you need to succeed in that model.
If Vince was a baseball player, does he hit over 200 on his talents?
Vince is a 250 hitter.
No, he's not. I think if you're taking it all across the board for like where people should be slotted in, he's like
Vince is a 250 home run hitter.
Yeah.
I
You
think
remember all the big dingers.
He hits some
Absolutely.
absolute moonshots, but he's not an overly good hitter.
You forget all the shit because of all the big home runs.
Yep.
All right.
So this back to the match.
We're talking about wrestling? What?
Yeah, Edge wins, and for some reason Dave Meltzer gives a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, that was really high.
Yeah, I think as just the story it told, maybe I give it 1.2 out of 5, Matt.
I give it a 2.5. The 3 first matches were very generic. I felt like so to like give one. The only reason I gave the Regal match less was because it was so short.
I would argue the 4th match is also generic.
I don't have a rating, but whoever invented the pump handle slam should be shot.
That's a terrible finisher.
And I hate that for some reason Rhea has adopted it because her submission finisher is way cooler than the Riptide.
All right.
Well, cool name though, Riptide. Hey, yeah. Come on down to the Riptide.
Oh,
no, the better Riptide song is by Grandson. Look it up. It's sick.
Grandson. Okay, do it. I'll do it.
And
then we go to another backstage segment with terrible acting.
Who's in that one?
Stephanie and
when she bitches that they're gonna lose their jobs and all their work for and all that shit. Yeah.
Why is there so many backstage segments on this pay-per-view?
This was the storyline era.
This is soap opera era, right?
Yeah. Next match, title unification. You have the WWF champions, the Hardy Boys, against the WCW champions, the Dudley Boys, in a cage match. Stacy Keibler.
Smoke.
Oh my goodness.
Good Lord. But okay, so stay with me on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
This was a good match. I will give
it was.
Good match. Don't you feel, because we watched a lot of these
3
matches.
really bad things about this match though.
Okay, so don't you feel they just went every time they needed something in this spot, they went back to the well, hey, Dudley's and Hardy's, let's go.
But they deliver.
Yes. They deliver every time.
They deliver,
this is my most memorable match on the card.
But do you feel like it just gets boring after a while?
No.
I feel like it gets boring.
No.
Okay.
No.
Is this actually what you're focusing on? Because there's 3 things.
I'm also focusing on the fact that if you put tag teams in a cage, you shouldn't have to tag in. There should just be a fucking tornado tag.
It should be a tornado tag. That was number 1. That was my number 1. So that was number 1.
Where are they supposed to stand? Like Bubba Ray's ass was probably like turned into.
Oh, they were literally leaning on the cage.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Then all of a sudden they just go to a tornado tag and the ref doesn't count anybody out
because the ref doesn't fucking know what's going on.
The ref is like,
rules.
No, this makes more sense. Let's just do this.
And then I found out at a certain point that they all had to escape for them to win the match.
Or they could pin somebody.
Why would you leave your partner, which we see later? Why would you leave your partner alone against 2 people?
Logic was not existent in this match. And we'll get to that in a second, the finish. But also, so Stacy Keibler opens the cage.
Gives them a table.
The referee in the ring sees her open the cage, doesn't stop her, instead goes to give the other referee on the outside shit. She slides the table in, and then they relock. Like, it just didn't make sense.
It made no. That's what killed it. I felt like it just made no sense. And then Matt decides, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna escape. Leave my poor fucking brother with Dudley Boys.
Which is fine because Jeff almost escaped. He should have escaped, but
Jeff is a fucking psycho.
Yep.
Why are you jumping off the fucking cage for, man?
And that reaction is why it's my most memorable match on the card, because I was watching this and Jeff turned around and I literally remember screaming at the TV, "Not now, Jeff." Not now. And he did it, and that's why I remember this match so much, because the visceral emotional reaction of like, you want the Hardy Boys to win, you're so invested in them as faces, and Jeff just can't resist, and it's so simple but so amazing. And
I will say, like,
yeah, I loved it.
it lacked logic, but at the same time, it made so much sense.
But
It was entertaining as shit.
I felt it
was so
lacked
entertaining.
wrestling logic. This might be the wokest thing I ever said wrestling wise. It lacked wrestling logic, but it really made up for it in wrestling character logic. Like, I felt like what Matt did, what Jeff did, what Demon did, what Bubba did, the whole match was very in spirit of their entire careers. And I think it was pretty cool to look back on.
It was a good match.
It was good, entertaining shit.
Don't tell me it's not a good match.
I give it 4. What's Meltzer give it?
Wow, that's insane. Meltzer gives it 3.25 out of 5.
That's pretty close for Meltzer.
Matt, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 3.5.
I gave it the lowest. I gave it a 2.7. I felt it was just
You're a drunk fuck.
I thought
You
it was
gave
just,
it under a 3?
I thought it was illogical, and I was over it.
You need to see a therapist. You're a badger.
That's dumb.
It's fine.
That's the dumbest thing you said on this show.
Thank you.
Oh, I
you
said
know what,
dumb shit too.
Matt, I'm sorry that I went along with Pat earlier because you were right to do that post because it was actually pretty good. And I just went along for the sake
I never said the post wasn't good.
The post was good, and I'm honestly okay with you making decisions. You run the Instagram account. You've done a great job, and I trust your decision making.
Jordan, I apologize for Pat.
So he already fucked up the gimmick. He said, I apologize. We don't say that shit.
Yes, he is. He's allowed to say what he wants. I appreciate your apology. Tell me what it's about.
I apologize for Pat not trusting me to run the account the way it should be run.
I mean, as someone who's done a better job with the Instagram account than Pat's done with the Twitter account, I don't know why Pat's
Are we not followed by Hammerstone? Are we not followed by Brandon fucking Walker right now?
Have they tweeted at us? Have they interacted with us?
Brandon Walker.
All of them.
Brandon Walker, for all we know,
he's pretty sweet.
He's pretty sweet, but he took one of our fucking wrestling names, okay? That's for all we know. Brandon Walker's asked us one question, all right? And he's about to use Robbie Fox. I mean, God bless Robbie, but that guy gets too geeked out over wrestling. He needs to be a little more critical. He's very like...
And he loves the Young Bucks. Robbie Fox was my boy until he said he loved the Rum Bucks.
I think he like instantly splooges his pants whenever someone says the word Undertaker. Like, if, God forbid, he ever goes to a funeral and an Undertaker's there, because it's going to be a really...
Oh, my God. That would be awful.
Okay. If you want to speak illogical, let's do the next match. Because
let's talk about the immunity.
Because Vince was like...
Let's talk about that.
Somebody in the back. I
feel like we're going to agree on this.
Hold on.
We're going to agree on this.
Somebody in the back was like, okay, Edge needs to win. And Vince was like, no, Test needs to win. And then someone's like, no, it makes more sense for Edge to win. He goes, all right, but what if we have an immunity battle royal? And Test finds his way into it.
Can someone remind me what they were getting immunity from? I cannot remember.
If whoever, no matter who won the final match and took control of the company, that person would have immunity and not be fired for a year. So the logic behind that is put every piece of shit talent on your roster in this match who I would not want to keep for a second and allow them to try and keep their job for a year.
I disagree with that because the final 4 is clearly guys that the company likes. They have Bradshaw. They like Bradshaw.
Yeah.
They pushed Bradshaw in like 2 years.
Yes, I understand. But at this point, he was just a guy.
Somebody was super high on Test, obviously.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn was just a stalwart.
Okay.
And they recognized how good Lance Storm was.
Well, Lance Storm, give that guy charisma and he's a champion.
Give that guy charisma and he's The Rock.
Yeah. Wow. That's a bold statement. Yeah.
He's as good, if not a better worker than The Rock.
This was all just filler. It was a clusterfuck. We don't even need to talk about. The fans didn't give a shit. It was
nobody
dead.
gave a shit.
It was sucked. Meltzer, for some reason, or Test wins. I put ...
Why did guys show up halfway through this match?
It was weird. It was so.
Why did Taz show up halfway through the match?
It was dumb. It was so dumb. Meltzer gives it 1 out of 5. Matt, would you give it?
I agree with Meltzer. It got a 1 because I sort of still kind of enjoyed it.
No score because I don't remember it.
I gave it a negative 1.4 out of 5.
Pat, 27-24 Rams. Tampa driving under 2 minutes left.
For fuck's sakes. Next match.
Do I get a Pat heartbreak reaction live late in the pod?
Fuck. Okay, next match we have a 6-pack challenge for the women's title. which is Trish against Jacqueline, against Lita, against Ivory, against Molly Holly, against the surprise Jazz.
Excuse me. Mighty
Mo. Sorry. Can I just say, for a 4.5 minute women's match, this had 6 great talents in it.
Lita's pop is one
Lita
of the 3.
And Trish. Lita and Trish's pop.
Those are 2 of the 5 best pops on this card. And the next match has a lot of talent in it.
Yeah, and Jackie wanted to chop people's boobs off.
Pat,
She was chopping chicks so hard. What?
Pat. Tom Brady intercepted by Cameron Brait.
Let's go! Fuck yeah! Okay.
Oh, minute 43.
All right. So Trish ends up winning this match. It was a good match, good hard work match. Really short, too short. Melcy gives it 1 out of 5. I gave it 1.3 out of 5. And Matt, you gave it?
I give it a 1.5. It was good. All the women could go. There's a lot of smoke in this match. I'm not gonna lie to you. Lita, this era Lita,
Roll Tide.
the thong hanging out of her pants. Why?
Oh.
That's high school.
Reasons.
I loved high school.
All right. Fuck this shit. Let's
Whale
go to the big,
tailing.
let's go to the big match. Go to the big match here. The final match. Team WWF against Team Alliance. The fate of the company on the line. You had The Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, The Rock, and Chris Jericho as Team WWF. Wow is right. Team Alliance, you had Shane McMahon, Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, RVD, and Booker T.
Wow.
One of these things is not like the other, but that's okay.
Hey,
Storyline.
90% still a good score on a quiz.
Now, Matt, before we even start, if you had a legit Team Team Alliance, you keep RVD, you keep Booker T. Who are the 3 other guys?
Goldberg,
yeah.
I think you have to put Hulk Hogan on there.
Yeah, and the last one's a tricky one.
The last one, I think you got to go to ECW, and I think you have to put Tommy Dreamer as much as you hate Tommy Dreamer.
Matt?
Yeah.
Tommy Dreamer fucking sucks, and you didn't put Sting. You're off the podcast.
Oh, I forgot
Sting is
about Sting.
automatic.
You're off.
Even
Oh my
I
god,
thought
I
of
forgot
Sting.
about Sting.
Even I thought of Sting.
I forgot about Sting.
My eyes got fucking wide as shit.
Let the record show that Matt picked Tommy fucking Dreamer over Sting.
Is this worse than picking Slick round 3?
Ooh.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
I'd say
I
yes.
don't know about that.
I would say it's close. So we start the match super hot. We get the 2 biggest stars in the company, The Rock, Steve Austin, and they start us off with some heat, and they go at each other super hard. No better way to start that match, right, Matt?
I'd say the better way to start that match is how frequent the tags are and how they get everybody involved.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a great start, what you
Yeah.
just described, but they get every guy into the match, which I think is the perfect formula for a match with this much talent.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you look at some of these guys, Kane is a monster.
Yeah, he's huge.
He's like Ica Pro City, but I don't even care. He looks like a freaking beast. There's just like, there's so much, like every one of these guys is a Hall of Famer.
And I argue that Shane McMahon played an integral part in this match. Him breaking up counts at throughout the first 10 minutes of this match is integral to the match.
And he was the first eliminated on his team, which is exactly what it should have been.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say the
But he got the first pin also. He also got the first pin.
The sequence of who was eliminated, I think, fit perfectly, except for maybe one. I think we'll get to in a little bit. But this was high-paced, great work. I think Kurt Angle, if there was ever an underappreciated Hall of Fame in wrestling history, Kurt Angle is the first one to go in.
Kurt Angle's best wrestling matches were not with this company. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy to say because he had some bangers with WWE.
Well, he went to TNA and he was all messed up on God knows what. And he was just doing everything he wanted to do.
But him and Samoa Joe just had some
great matches.
My goodness.
I'm not sure how I feel during the whole match. JR says it a lot. I'm not sure how I feel about when JR says he's being assaulted. I feel like JR shouldn't be saying someone's being assaulted.
Bro shouldn't say that. No, person say it.
And then the next terrifying thing, or thing that makes me cringe, is every time I hate the Tombstone pile driver.
Oh,
I think everybody's going to get paralyzed every time they do it.
have you watched?
I saw Ric Flair taking the pile driver at WrestleMania 18 today, and his head for sure hit the fucking mat.
Yeah.
But they said the Undertaker had this way of doing it where your head touched, but he rolled you at this like perfect time. Like,
I'm still not fucking doing it.
oh no. And the Undertaker in the Brothers, that's what I was watching. The Brothers Destruction documentary. He said he had given a ton of tombstones. But when Kane picked him up the first time to give him a tombstone, he was like, "Oh my god, I do not feel safe."
Yeah.
Like,
and like any pile driver, like I don't even remember where it was or when it was. I think it might have been WrestleMania. CM Punk against John Cena. Punk sets him up for a pile driver, but it's a jumping pile driver. And it was like, it was the most terrifying thing I ever watched. I was like, he's going to kill John Cena. He's going to paralyze him from the neck down.
if you're gonna ask me to take a pile driver for someone, though, I feel like CM Punk would be on my top 5 list.
No, I take it from Jerry Lawler because Jerry Lawler's pile driver sucked.
So there's a bunch of eliminations. Let's get to the final 4 here.
Before we do, before you do that,
Okay.
every time there was an elimination, they would put a camera shot onto the two teams.
That was cool.
Companies. That was just added to the importance of the match. And I thought that was a really nice touch. That was WWE.
This match was really, really well put together and really, really well produced. Like the way the cutaways, all that kind of stuff was really well done.
Now, if you go to the final format,
Rock, Jericho, Austin, Angle. Put
one
those
of those guys,
four.
one of those guys does not belong.
Angle.
No. Chris Jericho should not have been in that final 4. It should have been The Undertaker, but it just shows you how much faith they had in Jericho at that point.
And also, you put those 4 guys in a Rushmore. That's a tough one to argue right there, buddy.
No, absolutely. I'm not saying it was a wrong decision, but just looking at the two teams, that's not who you would put in the final 4.
2020, if you pick that as your Rushmore, you're arguing Angle, not Jericho.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And honestly, your arguments for Angle, like against Angle, are kind of thin.
Yeah. No,
a lot of his best stuff maybe wasn't in WWEF, but I still feel like
this match, Matt, went 45 minutes. Do you think it was a little too long?
When I looked at the time, I thought it was going to be long, and then when I watched it, it
didn't feel that long.
It didn't feel that long till really like the last 7 minutes.
My biggest issue with this is I just didn't like the storyline.
Which one?
Just the whole alliance against WWE. It just because they didn't have the WCW guys.
Yeah. But they just didn't have them.
Yeah, and like that's why you just don't do it. Don't do it.
They had to. It was sitting there for them. They had to do it.
I think you just do that and you have like one guy who's trying to keep the WCW thing alive, and then you wait until those contracts are done.
That being said, was it ever in doubt who the final 2 is going to be? No. You have The Rock on one side, Austin on the other. It had to be them.
It goes Hulk Hogan, Austin, Rock as the 3 biggest draws in WWE history.
Arguably in wrestling history.
No, Ric Flair's in there. You always put Ric Flair. As a draw, Ric Flair.
As a draw in the South? But as far as drawing money?
I think if you go to drawing money and you bring everything into you make it as a broad wrestling thing, that list changes.
Andre could be in there too.
Yeah, you put Andre in there, you put Ric Flair in there, you put a bunch of guys in there that just make money, and it's different. It's a different conversation, but I get where you're coming from.
But amounts of money?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Okay, you got the machine behind you, obviously, but man, it's hard to argue that
those crowds in the Austin era, there's nothing that beats a crowd in the Austin era. They just insane.
Austin and Rock, those are pop. I'm a big pop guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like pops. As you can tell by the amount of empty cans beside me.
I called them soda.
Okay.
Soda pop. Best
Okay,
soda of all
America.
time. Best soda of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh my God.
Pepsi.
Like, can I pick anything?
Anything.
I think the caramel root beer from Brownies
going, like,
is the
specialty?
best I've ever had.
Oh, you can
in my
pick
life.
anything. It's going to be Dr. Pepper all day.
Brownies caramel root beer. Best thing I've ever had.
Yeah, it's going to be Dr. Pepper for me all day.
I'm a massive Dr. Pepper guy, but you put a Pepsi in front of me, I can't resist.
Look, I'll do it. Shameless plug. I know we're getting a little off topic here. Shameless plug for a free ad for someone. Barstool Chicago, every Monday they do a snake draft. Like we do Flight in a Pint. They do a snake draft. They did soda draft. The most invested I've ever been in a podcast in a long time.
What was the number one?
Oh, it's Coke. It went Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper. That was top 3.
Not for me.
You got to listen to it, Matt. I know you're not big on listening to a lot of different podcasts. The Dog Walk, the Soda Pop Draft, unreal.
Coke though? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, getting back to the match.
Wesley.
Jericho comes in. He's the traitor, the double cross.
I didn't really get that. I don't feel like he was.
I
I think he was just pissed that he got
he's
eliminated.
just pissed that he got eliminated. But then the Undertaker comes out and makes sure he doesn't interfere any further, which is the Undertaker spot that makes sense because he's the enforcer.
Yeah. The locker room leader.
Yeah, and then you get the Angle is the turn, I think.
Yeah, that's the turn. Yeah.
Angle turns. Rock pins Austin.
And you know what? The stars of this match were JR and Heyman bantering back and forth about who was going to lose their job. They were the best part of this match.
They were the best thing on the pay-per-view. Never mind the match.
They kept it going the whole night.
And then Heyman, if Heyman's good at one thing, it's facials and just like reactions.
Mm-hmm.
When the hand comes down for 3 and they cut to Heyman and JR's telling him, "You don't have a job. You don't have a job." It's so good.
We're in a weird podcast theme because we talk a lot about mouthfeel and we talk a lot about facials. It's really weird.
If you cut this right, it could be a completely different podcast.
It's just so weird. Like all the words make sense, but it's just like it's to hear them out loud, you know. But yeah, so Team WWF wins, obviously, like we said. Dave Meltzer was super high on this match. He gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Matt?
This is one of the best Survivor Series or elimination tag matches I have ever watched. I give it a 4.5.
Okay. I was not as impressed with it just because I wasn't super into the storyline. I thought it was kind of watered down.
It was so well put together. As
I
a
gave
standalone match?
I gave it a 3.9 out of 5.
You didn't even give this a 4.
Nah, I couldn't get it to the 4. For me, it wasn't a 4. I'm not going to go back and remember it as that great of a match.
Jordan, do you remember this match?
No.
All right, good talk.
Hold on, you watched this card and you don't remember the main event of this card.
2001. Like
Jordan was 8 years old.
I was 10, but like I remember the fuckery at the end. Like I remember Angle hitting Austin and then Austin taking the rock.
That was a good
bottom.
swerve. It was a very good swerve.
Yeah, but I don't remember I think that was an awesome transition out of the Alliance era, but I don't really like.
Okay, but arguably this kind of almost put an end. Is this arguably the end of the Attitude Era?
Oh yeah, this was leading into Ruthless Aggression.
So we're kind of in that weird transition, right? And it felt kind of weirdly transitional.
Yeah,
a little bit as a card.
Yeah, but overall, strong card. You gonna sip it, cheers it, or chug it, Matt?
I'm gonna cheers it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'll cheers it too. I thought it was really strong. But I think it was worth a watch again. It flew by. Jordan, you're gonna cheers it as well?
I would also cheers it because that's the middle, and I won't get confused on the other.
No, that's the good one. That's the good one.
Isn't that
sip is the middle?
Okay, I'll sip it.
Jesus Christ. Episode 25. No fucking clue.
I don't usually get to partake. You guys like to go before we were all born so often.
Anyways, next week, Flight in a Pint. I'm calling it. We're doing factions.
Oh, wow.
That's exciting.
Big if true.
No, that's what we're doing.
According
that's
to my
what we're doing.
schedule, that's not what we're doing.
Well,
but we'll do
That's
that.
what we're doing.
Now, okay,
That's
we're
what
gonna
we're
do
doing.
As a faction, are we saying 3 or more people?
Yes.
Okay.
Then it would just be a tag team if it was 2 people, you idiot.
No, could be a team of people who
Hmm.
watch each other's backs like Sasha and Bailey did.
Well,
Yeah.
anyways, boys, way better show than last week, I must say.
Going
I'm
off
very
script
much-
here. Son of a bitch.
Well, we'll talk about it after.
Matt,
anyways-
what were we supposed to do
Yeah, what
next
were we
week?
supposed to do?
Match stipulation.
No, that's lame. We'll do that in 2 weeks. Okay, so once again, I am Pat Gagne at
3
on
weeks.
Untapped
You're
at
supposed to do it in 3 weeks.
whatever.
You fucking idiot.
God damn it. I am Pat Gagne. You can follow me on Untapped at Pat Gagne. You can follow Matt at Gagne and Matt with 2 T's. And you can follow Jordan at JSco55 on the Instagram at Bros Bumps and Beers AND and on Twitter, Bros Bumps Beers. We will see you next week. And remember to always drink local, drink local, shop local, support local businesses. Very important in our city right now. And we will see you next week on Bros
Stop
Bumps.
stealing our posts.
That week.